Testing. Thank you, MC Sophia. Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you all here again today. I see some familiar faces. Customer of ours here from Chiat Hin, envelope manufacturer. Thanks for joining the session. I'm Victor. I'm actually from this yellow booth here, F12. So based on what I have to share today, if you would like to have more information, feel free to visit us at this booth beside here, right? Okay, so before I start, I'd like to give you a brief introduction of myself and then a brief introduction of the company that I represent. The QR code on the right-hand side is basically my contact. If you would like to have my contact and save it in your phone, you can just scan this QR code. You have my contact number, yeah? So basically, as introduced by our MC earlier, my name is Victor. I'm the country manager for MPDV Malaysia. Okay, a brief introduction of MPDV. MPDV, we are a German-based software company. Yeah, we have been around for the last 45 years. We support manufacturing companies of all sizes and different industry. We supply and we maintain standard configurable solutions. And we are also the first MES provider to bring an integration platform, or what we also call it as the MIP, to the market, right? So when we talk about configurable standard installation, it pretty much means that the solution that we have to offer is out of the box, kind of out of the box, whereby once you deploy, it can already be used, but it is highly configurable to meet the different industry requirements that you come from. So we can deploy the system in a very short span of time, within 2-3 months sometimes. It depends on the complexity of the case, but generally the deployment time is very brief, very short. Yeah. All right. This is where we are located in this region. And as you can see on your right-hand side, we have our regional office located in Singapore Central Plaza. Our Malaysia-based subsidiary where I am located is in over Damansara. It's in between Damansara and Taman Tun itself. And then we have our China-based office in Shanghai. And we have our India-based office in Chennai as well. In countries that we do not have direct subsidiaries, we are represented by our partners in Indonesia, in Thailand, in Vietnam. So these countries are represented by our partners. Just a bit brief history about our company. We are a medium-sized German company with approximately 75 million euro turnover, and we have 540 employees with us globally, located in 13 locations worldwide. At the moment, we have slightly more than 1 million users that interact with our system on a daily basis. So these are mainly shop floor workers that interact with our shop floor terminals using the system, working in factories around the world. Yeah, and we have, as of now, more than 90,000 machines connected to our system globally, with more than 1,500 manufacturing plants using the system, installing the system, and using them on a daily basis. Just to give you a bit of an idea of who are our customers and where they come from, you would see that we cater to various verticals. We are not a specialist in a specific industry as per se, but basically we cater to the discrete manufacturing environment. So this means to say, or this includes people in the pharmas, in the FMB, FMCG, plastic, electrical, fabrics, the PE, yeah, chemical, metal, and of course the automotive, aerospace, and aviation suppliers as well. All right. Here you see the various modules. If you see the name Hydra X right at the top, that is basically the name of the software, right? The company's name is MPDV. So when I mention Hydra, Hydra X is the name of the software. And what you can see here are the various modules of the software. the software is built in such a way whereby it is very modular that as a customer, you get to pick and choose what is relevant to you. You don't have to implement an entire solution and only use a small fraction of it, but you can go in small, you can go in simple by just going for one module, two module, or three module to start off with, and adding on as we move along. Yeah. Okay. So enough of some background introduction. Now I'd like to come to the topic of digitalizing your shop floor. The topic that I want to share today is more suited for SMEs, yeah, because I realize many of the times in the course of my journey, meeting with many SME owners, very frequently I get a question as to how do we embark on the I 4.0 journey? Where do we start? How do we define what consists or what indicates steps that are leading us towards the I 4.0, right? So I think it is a good, what they call, very basic fundamental session that SME would probably get to benefit from this sharing. And in MPDV itself, we define this journey in 4 stages. So as you can see, the very first stage itself, which most SMEs, or even some larger SMEs, or even some bigger companies, has not even achieved that first stage, right? So which is the transparent factory. So when we talk about the transparent factory, what are we talking about, or what are we referring to? We are talking about how information from the shop floor, from the factory, can be gathered in a timely manner, in a transparent manner, whereby this information can then be passed on to the decision makers, to the factory owners, for you to make good business decisions, right? So a lot of time in most factories, especially SME factories, you have reports that are submitted to the owners, might it be handwritten, might it be in Excel, and it comes in many different forms. And this information might not be reaching the owners or the decision makers in a timely manner. It could be maybe at the end of the day, it could be the following day, and you're always reacting to something that has already occurred, already passed. Yeah, something that happened in the morning, you get to know about it in the evening, and you are reacting to something that has already passed. So in an ideal environment, you would like to have this information on a timely basis whereby as and when it occurs, you get to know about it and you can make decisions on how you want to react towards what is happening, right? So basically, the smart factory elements, this entire ecosystem itself, is something that is already familiar to many of you because it consists of basically what we call the PDCA cycle or the Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle. And in this cycle itself, we define plan as planning, scheduling, yeah, production planning, scheduling. Execution as in execution on the shop floor, the logging on of orders on the shop floor to execute the orders, right? And then check is basically gathering of data, of information for analytical purpose. And then you have the future prediction of information. So what I would like to share with you today very much focuses on the element, on the element of the IIoT, which is the Industrial Internet of Things, that brings all of this together. Right at the bottom here, the IIoT that brings all of this together from the perspective of how we are able to easily capture reliable data from the shop floor, yeah, to achieve the very first step of transparency of information. Okay, just to give you a high-level overview before we go down to a bit more detail, this is our typical Hydra environment. It's a very normal IT infra environment that you will see. And right at the top, on the left-hand side, we have our servers. You probably have your servers in your factory hosting your ERP system, your accounting system. So in the case of an MES system, it's hosted on the server as well. It can be an on-prem server. It can be a server that's on the cloud, which you can go for a SaaS business model, software as a service. So this is really up to the customer. Also depending on the IT infra of where you are located. We know certain places sometimes do not have the best of the IT infra and you might not be able to have high-speed connection, so therefore SaaS might not be a best option in such situations. Yeah. But somehow many of our customers still like the reliable method of hosting it on-prem in their own premises, which they find most reliable. But it's really up to you as an organization on which model you prefer. Yeah. So on the other hand, we have the Office web client right in the middle. So this is where the Office users, the owners, the planners, the administrators, they use the system to gather reports, to do settings, to make changes. So this is done at the Office client. On the right-hand side, you have the dashboard and the web client. So these days it's popular to have a big screen, doesn't matter in your office lobby, in your office, or even on the production floor, a big screen hanging from the top ceiling. And this live feed of information to the dashboard is real-time, made possible from the information capturing of the shop floor. Yeah. And right at the middle, we have what we call our shop floor web client. This is the terminal that the workers interact with. Just now I mentioned that 1 million workers or 1 million people that interact with the system, mainly from the shop floor workers. So this is the shop floor terminal that the workers interact with, where they log on their orders, they log off their orders, they get what they call digital guidance, and also they can see the plans that the planner have planned for them, yeah, on this terminal. By the way, this terminal is usually deployed on a sharing basis, so it does not mean that every machine needs to have one terminal. It can be 4 or 5 machines sharing one terminal, yeah. And of course, on the bottom portion here, we have our machine connectivity, talking about new machines, how we connect new machines to the system, and also your very old machines. As normal, as usual, you will have mixture of old and new machines. So on the older machines, we have our IoT connector to enable such connection. So basically, we ensure, doesn't matter whether you have new machines or old machines, we can integrate this all together under one umbrella in your shop floor. So we are going to go a little bit deeper into this in a while. So let us take a look at connectivity options that we have with newer machines. So I guess this is not something very new to you. Most new machines these days, they support some form of connectivity, right? And of course, the very popular connectivity option these days are, for example, like the OPC, OPC UA, OPC DA. So many new machines that you buy has the capability to communicate via the OPC protocol itself. So having said that, that also means that it is easy to connect to the MES system by just pretty much a plug and play via your network cable itself, yeah? And of course, also to ensure that the machine maker has enabled the port so that the information can be transmitted. Sometimes we see cases that there are ports available, but machine is not transmitting. Usually it's due to a licensing related topic from the machine maker, yeah? So on the other hand, just now we spoke about the more manual connection, which is the IIoT connector here. So I'd like to talk a little bit more about this, because this is also a very common question that I get from many SME owners on how do we then connect the older machines, very old machines that are very mechanical in nature. How do we ensure that they can be reliably connected, and how much of an effort it takes to connect these machines? So if we just go one step deeper into this IoT connector, what you can see here is we have the IoT connector that has the network point available here, and this basically transmit the information to the MES server. On the other hand, you will see that these are slices, right? So there are different type of slices. We have the digital input slice, we have the output slice, and we have the analog slice. So basically, this is a product that is manufactured by Vago, a very reliable brand name, a very reliable manufacturer. And MPDV, we have our firmware that is preloaded into this Vago IoT connector. So it is just pretty much as simple as having this connector installed on the wall of your shop floor, and then we wire it either through your floor trunking or your ceiling trunking to the machine itself, yeah? So as you can see, each of these connectors has multiple input, which means that one IoT connector itself can be connected to multiple machines. So it's not one connector to one machine. And therefore, it translates to a very low cost of connecting your machines. When we talk about low cost, we are talking about in the range of a few hundred ringgit kind of a cost to connect one machine. Yeah, so it's pretty much a very low cost way of connecting your machines. And this can be done with simple collaboration between our technical engineers and your plant facility engineers. It does not even really need to require an SI to come in to help you to do this connection. Yeah, so our guys can basically communicate with your maintenance facility people to tell them where we are going to pick this signal from and where we are going to tap and connect this wire to. So it's a very simple, very easy connection. Okay, so this is just an example of where it's connected to. Basically, we can connect it to the relay of the machine, for example, to capture either the status signal or the cycle signal of the machine using a dry contact switch. On the other hand, you might have machines that you might want to capture certain process value that the machine does not have a sensor to capture this value at the moment. So it also allows you to add on sensors, like in this case, a temperature sensor, a PT100 temperature sensor. So if you retrofit your machines or your water tanks with this sensor, basically the sensor can be wired directly to the IoT connector using an analog slice to capture the process value. Yeah. All right, this is for those that want to measure the consumption of energy. Basically, we can actually capture the consumption of energy in terms of the kilowatt hours consumption from the machines by just having the clamping on your L1, L2, L3 and being connected to the IoT connector as well. So that one IoT connector can do quite a lot of things, yeah? Not just collecting machine signals, but also process values, and also in this case, energy consumption. How it looks like, basically it comes ready in a box like this. About the size of this. It's not a very big box, just a little bit thicker, mounted to the wall on the shop floor, and then it's wired to the machines via floor or via the ceiling, yeah? So one of these boxes, as you can see, has multiple slides and can connect to many machines on your shop floor. Okay, so we're talking about configurable standard functionalities, and we can see in this particular horizontal integration, what I'd like to share with many customers or SMEs out there is, if we look at the data that we are trying to capture here, right from the HR related data, your machine, or your order data, or all the way to your process, quality, materials, batch data, energy data at the top, right? I believe many of us are in a way or another already capturing this information, just that we are capturing it in many different ways. Maybe some information is written down, some information is keyed into the Excel, some information we might have some system to capture it, but basically the data is scattered all around in different silos of information. So what is the biggest challenge at the end of the day to the business owner is when you want to make meaningful use of this information, right? It requires a lot of copy and paste, a lot of massaging of information to bring things together to give you a picture of what is exactly going on. And in the process of doing this, it's not only time consuming, but there's also a tendency of human errors when you are copying things from here and there and putting things together, right? So with a system in place, even with basic functionalities, let's say from an SME perspective, embarking on simple small baby steps to digitalize your factory, we are basically able to capture this information to a centralized database. So having said that, when we have the information in one storage location, in one centralized database, exporting the information for analytical purpose becomes something that is very simple to do with a click of one or two buttons, right? There's no longer the need to massage figures to copy and paste it from here and there to basically compile information from different systems. So this eliminates a lot of the need to do the manual tasks, yeah, and prevent the occurrence of human error. Okay, because this is a very brief session, I'd just like to share with you a bit of the look and feel of the user interface of the system. If you like to see the actual system in demo, of course, we have the system in our booth, F12, just beside here, the yellow color booth. Basically, the interface we are looking at here is the planning interface, yeah? So we can see in this planning interface itself, you have things like, for example, your machine group, and you have one machine, two, three, four machine under this group of pressure casting. Or in the injection molding, you have, let's say, 5 machines in here. And when the planner does the planning is in a form of like a Gantt chart-based planning, which is a drag and drop. Yeah. So the planner can basically click that particular operation, drag it and drop it to where they want to plan it at which machine. Okay. And at the same time, you can see the planning horizon at the top here, which means that we can look further into the future, planning down 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or we can expand it and look nearer to the current present. So the system also has the capability to do automatic planning and scheduling, which allows us to define if we want to plan and schedule just certain operations, certain selected operations, or maybe the entire work group, for example. So the system has this capability to do auto planning, yeah? And of course, if the other modules are being integrated, like for example, you have a module relating to your materials, module relating to your HR, the planning itself will also take into consideration if you have the available material to run that production, or if you have the workers that you need to run that production, or maybe in certain situations, certain qualified skill sets is required by the worker to run that machine, whether the worker is present during that point of time when you're planning to run that particular operation. So these are also possible with the relevant modules being put in place. Yeah. This is another very simple dashboard, which is a OEE report. Yeah. So of course, when the system is connected to the shop floor, you have a live data feed coming in, and you basically get to compare between the various machines by selecting them, and it immediately gives you your OEE, right? So from this OEE itself, as business owners, it makes it easy for you to drill down into what is the area that requires your attention. Yeah, might be in this case maybe the availability and the performance is a bit low, but the quality is pretty good. So pretty much drilling down to the area of performance and availability. On my second last slide, basically we have another example of reports, which in this case we are sharing the report for scrap statistics. So you get to basically see what are the main contributing reasons of the scrap, yeah? So that we get to zoom into the area to address the main concerns and lower down the scrap. And on this side, you get to see the machines that are basically having the higher scrap, so also allowing you as a business owner to zoom down and address these issues. So you see here that this is the look and feel of the shop floor terminal. Earlier we mentioned shop floor terminal is for the shop floor workers to interact with the system. And the shop floor terminal is very user friendly, whereby it allows even low skill workers to interact with the system. And if you can see at the bottom here, these are the various machines that are connected to this one terminal. We have 1 machine, 2 machine, 3 machine, 4 machine here. So as a worker, you come to the terminal, you just select the machine that you are working on, you get to see the job that the planner has planned for you, you click on that particular operation, you log it on, authenticate your RFID card, and then you start operating the machine, for example. So immediately we get to capture who is the person that is logging on this job, running on which machine, from what time to what time, and if there are material logged on, for example, in this case, this example, there's also input material. We also get to know the material batches that are logged on for this particular order. Yeah. So this is some of the high-level information I'd like to share with you in this short 20-30 minutes session. And I'd like to end this presentation by having this QR code. If you require a bit more information, you can just scan this QR code, leave us your details, and we will get in touch with you, right? Or feel free to visit us. Thank you very much.